everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd talk about mental health. I believe it's not a subject that people approach lightly. There's still a bit of a stigma there, and I believe it needs to be talked about a lot more. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about my story and then go into other things. So when I was about 13 or 14, I started getting anxiety. I think most of it was about that I wasn't getting on very well in school. I didn't really have any friends till year 9, and then when I was in year 9 I had this absurd thing that they weren't actually my friends, and then that they felt sorry for me, which later died down, but yeah. So yeah, I started getting anxiety when I was around 13 and 14 years old. It would basically hit me at any point during the day. It started to get a little bit worse in college when I had to go and get the bus. I would not be able to sit on the top floor of the bus. I had to be on the bottom floor of the bus, and I'd have panic attacks if the bus got too crowded, which would happen quite a lot because the college I went to was quite a popular college, and obviously everyone will get the same bus. But it was basically around the fact that I couldn't see a way out, which freaked me out a lot. So before college, so we go back a little bit. So when I first started getting it, I went to doctors and I was referred to CAMS, Child and Adolescent Mental Health Team. Unfortunately, CAMS in my area isn't very good. Their funding is not good at all, so they have to basically prioritise people and put more people first. So the more important people priority, and people who don't really need to be there but isn't as bad, let's say, to other people. So unfortunately I was one of them people who didn't quite meet the criteria, let's say. So I was referred to the community mental health team for children and adolescents in Reading, where I live. And there was a lady, she used to come to my house and do therapy with me about all about my anxiety, what made me anxious, giving me tips to what to do when I was anxious, breaking down my anxiety step by step and things like that. It was around that time as well I was put on the medication propranolol, which is a beta blocker. So basically it doesn't get rid of your anxiety, but it gets rid of the symptoms of anxiety, such as your sweaty palms and beating heart, shakiness, things like that. And it did help quite a bit, actually. This lady came and saw me for about a month or two. I started to feel a little bit better, so she left, obviously giving me contact numbers and things like that, just in case. I was alright, still having a little bit of anxiety, but I was alright up until I started college, and obviously, like I said earlier, I had to start getting the bus, and things just started spiraling around in my head, and it was not a good time. I also struggled to make friends in college. I basically bounced around the different groups in the class, trying to find somewhere I fit in, to when I eventually did find somewhere, and then a situation happened in college which wasn't very good, and I ended up running out the classroom and having a panic attack in the toilets. So college was alright. I did enjoy college, but the first year was very rocky. It wasn't very good. But yeah, so I was alright, but I was very skeptical about going back to the doctors. By this point as well, I had stopped taking my propranolol, so I'm guessing that probably didn't help. So I did eventually go back to the doctors, got started on propranolol again. I had check-ins with my with the person I saw at the doctors. So college went on, and I had a couple of panic attacks here and there, anxiety attacks, things like that, and obviously I was struggling quite a lot. And then I started work, and work was amazing. I do quite like my job. I was alright there for about just over a year. I was absolutely fine, and then July time last year, about May maybe, I started developing depression. Oh god, it's harder to talk about than I thought. So I would go really downhill all of a sudden and be very low in mood, feeling very crappy for a prolonged period of time, and then all of a sudden I'll be fine again. And this happened quite a lot, so I fluctuated in mood quite a bit. I went back to my doctors after a recommendation of 2 of my friends, one of which is now my girlfriend, and they started me on a drug called citalopram, which is an antidepressant. I was on that for a couple of months, wasn't really working, so they upped my dose. Still wasn't really working, so they put me on sertraline, which is another antidepressant. That didn't really work, and then they put me on 150 milligrams of sertraline, which is what I'm currently taking. And about around this time I started having troubles with sleeping. I couldn't get through the night without waking up an awful lot, or I wouldn't be able to sleep at all. Basically, it got to a point where one night I didn't sleep at all, and I had to go to work the next day with working to 7 a.m. till 9:15 at night, and I had to do it all no sleep because I physically couldn't get to sleep. So the doctors put me on, I don't know if they put me on anything beforehand, I can't remember, but oh, they gave me diazepam, which is a strong, like, anti-anxiety drug, but it's very addictive, so they don't really give it out. They also put me, so I had that for a little bit. Because I couldn't be on that for very long, I then got put onto quetiapine, which is a drug that's used for all sorts of things, but the different dosages are for different things. So quetiapine is technically an antipsychotic, but I was taking it for sleep, so I was taking a low dose. So the low dose is basically for sleep because it does make you very drowsy. Put on sertraline and quetiapine, and then it got to about July last year, and things happened, and I generally felt that I had hit rock bottom in my life. I didn't want to do anything. I was barely eating. I lost quite a bit of weight. So unfortunately, I was referred to occupational health at my work, and I was signed off for 2 months. It wasn't really 2 months. It was around like end of July to September-ish, so about that time, September, and I decided that I was ready to go back to work, and I was really keen to go back to work, and that is true. I was very, very keen to go back to work. So I went back to work. During the time I was off as well, I was referred to a service called Talking Therapies. They were very good to start off with. I went to saw them quite a lot, until recently they discharged me, just out of the blue, and quite frankly I don't know what happened. So yeah, I went back to work September last year. I was there until the end of November, when I had another relapse and couldn't work again. So I was signed off for 2 months again, and that took me from the beginning of December all the way to the end of January of this year. Yeah, my medications weren't changed because I feel as though they are helping quite a bit. Obviously I had my therapy sessions. Occupational health wanted me to go see a psychologist, because Talking Therapies had dropped me. So yeah, so in January of this year I had a phone call with the CMHT, which is the Community Mental Health Team, but for adults again, and they referred me back to Talking Therapies, and I'm yet to give them a phone call to arrange an appointment. Currently I've been back at work for a week. I started on Monday. I've been doing short shifts 10 till 2, and then next week on Monday I'm going back full time. A lot better now, and I'm ready to kickstart this good mood, and hopefully it will stay that way. Yeah, that's my story with mental health so far. The one thing that I saw once about when I was watching videos on different mental health topics, which inspired me to, record this video. If someone broke their leg, we'd all rush forward to sign the plaster, but when someone has depression, everyone runs the other way. I'm just filming this basically to tell you that if you're watching this and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, you don't know what to do, you're in a down place in your life, just remember that you're not alone. Most people have been there, and if you do need someone to talk to, just drop me a message. My email is in the box below as always, and so is my Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat, things like that. All you need to do is drop me a message and I will try and help the best I can. It's just important to know that if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling anxious, or wherever you're feeling, you need to go to the doctors and you need to get help. We're coming to the end of this video now. If you have any problems, please message me below, because this is what I'm here for. I'm here to help. Obviously I've got my own problems going on, and I feel as though me having them problems make it easier for me to relate to other people. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up down below, and make sure you subscribe if you're new. Turn the notification button on if you'd like to be alerted when I post a new video, and I will see you next week. Bye.